His head throbbed, probably from the lack of sleep, as he trudged down the corridor back to his workstation. He settled into his chair, booted up his computer, and tried to drown his exhaustion in the dull rhythm of typing. But something felt off. The usual office clatter was gone, replaced by an eerie silence. It wasn't just quiet, it was as if the air itself was holding its breath. Glancing around, he noticed his colleagues staring at their computer monitors, utterly still. Not a single movement, as if everyone had been paused mid-action. Curious and unsettled, he rose from his seat and walked towards the office windows. What he saw beyond the glass made his chest tighten. Thick black smoke swirled outside, a smothering darkness that consumed everything beyond the building's walls. Panic prickled at his skin. Something was wrong. Desperate for some sense of normalcy, he searched the office for a clock. He found one mounted on the far wall. Its face was a nightmare of scrambled numbers, the hands twisted into impossible angles. He was dreaming. He spun around and bolted down the corridor, heading for the office sleeping quarters. When he pushed through the door, he found himself still lying on the bed, eyes closed, body seemingly trapped in slumber. "Wake up," he whispered to himself as he lay down on his own sleeping body, his mind racing. He focused, counted to 3, and willed himself to move. Once, twice, thrice. Nothing. His body refused to obey. He closed his eyes, poured all his concentration into breaking free from the dream, and finally his foot twitched. The sudden jolt propelled him awake. A heavy sigh of relief escaped his lips. He had made it out. The nightmare was over. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and began gathering his belongings from the bed, ready to head back to work. But as he looked to his side, his heart plummeted. His body was still lying there, motionless. He hadn't woken up. Panic clawed at him. He tried the same technique again, forcing himself to move, to wake up. Over and over he tried, and over he failed. The dreadful realization seeped into his bones. He was trapped in an endless cycle of nightmares. The last time he'd been lucky, his wife had woken him when he'd overslept. But here at the office, there was no one to notice his plight. Desperation replaced panic, and he began praying. His whispered pleas filled the empty room. And then a familiar sound broke through the darkness. A ringing, faint at first but growing louder, relentless. His alarm clock. The world trembled, the sound enveloping him until his eyelids fluttered open. He groaned, rubbing his eyes as the remnants of the nightmare clung to him. Relief washed over him as he glanced to his side and saw his wife lying next to him. "Turn off that alarm, could you?" "I'm still trying to get more sleep," she mumbled, her voice half muffled by the pillow. He chuckled shakily, silencing the alarm. It was over, finally. But then he noticed something strange. It was morning, but the room was dark, too dark. The walls were unfamiliar, sterile white. Slowly, dread seeped into his chest. This wasn't his bedroom. He was still in the office sleeping quarters. But how could his wife be here, sleeping beside him? His pulse quickened. She lay curled up on her side, facing away from him. He reached out and gently touched her arm. "Hey, are you awake?" No response. His suspicion twisted into terror. He leaned closer, his breath shallow. As he was about to speak again, she moved. Her head twisted toward him. Only her head, the rest of her body remained still. Her neck bent at an unnatural angle, eyes gleaming with a madness he'd only seen in his worst nightmares. He tried to scream, but no sound escaped his throat. I guess it is too late for him to realize that he is still trapped in the endless, nightmarish cycle that he could never awake from anymore.